to me about what you've seen as an escalation of the severity of maybe drug traffic or different things like that.
Well, the drugs are just out of control. We deal with that more and more every day. And I mean, everything from a user amount to, several thousand pounds in a vehicle. Our troopers are working daily out there, and the drugs is just unbelievable. And it's getting worse instead of better, unfortunately. But we'll stop everything from, like I say, the user, the guy that's just smoking marijuana, smoking a joint, or taking the pills or whatever, to somebody that's actually hauling a load, And it's sad. It really is sad what we've become with drugs, what our society has.
And so if you were to pull someone over in Waco, and they've got 10 pounds of marijuana, what happens at that point? You write him a ticket, obviously. You take him directly to jail.
Yeah, I was going to say 10 pounds of marijuana is the right to jail.
It's directly, they're going to jail.
Yes, absolutely.
Once they get to jail, what happens?
Well, we have to file a case, of course. We book them in, and then, of course, the burden's on us to prove all the elements of the offense, no matter what it is. Write a case report. We file that report with the DA's office, and DA's office is the one that actually prosecutes it. But we're responsible for documenting all the elements, all the details of the case. Why we stopped them, probable cause. You got to have probable cause for a stop. How we found the contraband, whatever it may be, who's involved, and all that stuff is in the report. And then the DA's office is the one that takes care of the actual.
Well, McLennan County's got new DA, Abel Reyna.
Oh, yes.
And we were talking earlier about that. Give me some feedback on that.
Oh, I think Abel is doing an outstanding job. Young, he is full of vigor. He came into that office knowing that things weren't run right for a long time. And Abel knew that coming into it. He was a defense attorney in this county. He knew everything that was going on. And he knew exactly what had to be done. And Abel made a lot of promises on his campaign, and he's held true to those promises. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He's turned the office around down there. The law enforcement in McLennan County is just so excited for what he's doing and what he stands for.
And ultimately what you're wanting to do is essentially continue that trend.
Absolutely.
Tell me what the Justice of the Peace does.
Well, Justice of the Peace is really responsible for several things. First of all, they handle Class C misdemeanor. It's what I call the People's Court. It's the lower court in the county, and they handle Class C misdemeanors, which is punishable by fine only. So they adjudicate those with the different agencies, mostly with Highway Patrol, the Sheriff's Office. They file cases there too. In addition to that, they do truancy court. They hold truancy court for those that choose not to go to school when they're supposed to go to school.
Which who would not want to go to school? It's free.
There are, unfortunately, some of our young people get in the wrong crowds and make poor choices. And sometimes they think that maybe they know more than their parents and their teachers, and choose deliberately not to go to school. So, and
That's
then
amazing.
When they're found, they go before the judge, and that would be the JP. They also.
So let me ask you this: what would you do if a kid comes through and they're 16 years old, they're a junior in high school, and they don't think they need to go to school anymore?
Well, of course, I would try to get on their level and try to help them to understand the importance of school. But the bottom line is that I know through my experience that, sometimes you just can't get to those people. In which case I'd have to bring out what the law is. The bottom line is until you become a certain age, you will go to school. And that's, of course, the burden's on the parents to get them there. But I would try to help them to understand that as best I could, because I think that's important. And if I knew or felt comfortable that they understood, that they knew what I was talking about trying to do to them, I'd give them a break as best I could. But if I continued to see them in that court for that reason, then I'd have to take sterner steps.
Because statistically, those who drop out of school have a tendency to end up in the criminal side of things.
Absolutely. That is so true.
So one leads to the other.
Absolutely.
Well, other than truancy.
Well, they also do the death inquest. They hold, they go to the scene of a unattended death or a violent death, if you will. We use them for traffic fatalities. They use them for homicides, suicides, anytime a person dies and a doctor's not there to pronounce them dead, or, if they've been sick or whatever, that's classified as unattended. And, excuse me, in McLennan County, since we don't have a medical examiner, that's usually their job, we use the JP. And it's the JP's responsibility to go to the scene, look at everything, talk to the officers involved, and then make a determination of the death.
And obviously, you feel as though you could do a better job of the incumbent who's in that position right now.
Yes, I do.
Is it that they're not available, or what's the word on the street about that?
Well, I really don't know if they're unavailable or maybe choose not to be. I'm not sure, but I know that there are times when they're called and they don't show up. And, in this county, I have a problem with that because there are 8 justice of the peace in this county. And even though you are elected to a precinct, you're still basically responsible for the whole county. There should not be a one time that there's an unattended death and the JP not be able to respond. Not with 8 of them in the county.
Not with 8.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I can't see that, and I have a problem with that.
So with that said, you are running against an incumbent.
Yes, I am.
That is Kristi Decluitt.
Kristi Decluitt. Yes, she's the incumbent. She's there.
What do you bring to the table that the voters would like to see versus what she has?
Well, I have to say it's my experience, my law enforcement experience. In my 38 years of law enforcement, I've worked right next to the JPs. I know what the JPs do. I haven't practiced law. In other words, I didn't go to school to be a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. But I have enforced the law and I have applied the law for 38 years. I know what a crime scene looks like. I know what to do at a crime scene. I know what a crash scene looks like. I teach crash investigation at the McLennan County, McLennan Community College Law Enforcement Academy. I teach it, and I've taught it at the Waco Police Academy. But I teach that stuff. I go to a crash scene. I can look. I don't need anybody to tell me what happened because of my experience. I can look and I can tell what happened. My opponent, she is a lawyer. She's practiced law, or she's been to law school, and she's learned the law. But again, I've applied the law. I've enforced the law, and I think I'm better qualified for it.